Hey everyone, we're going to do something a little different today and look at an Express Manicure that I do in my studio. So it's not a full-length manicure, although it covers basically everything I do in a regular manicure, except I'm not going to be showing you the sugar scrub and warm towels and the longer massage that I give. So the first thing I do is push back the cuticles. I do my manicures dry. I don't soak the nails. I don't soak the cuticles. I don't put anything on the cuticles unless they're exceptionally hard or grown up on the nail plate, like really far. This is a client I've been working with for a long time. So her nails have been sort of trained and I don't have to do much except push back the skin off of the nail plate to reveal the cuticle underneath. Then I take my nail file. Here you see me using the diamond file from Erica's ATA. I believe this is fine. A fine grit or extra fine. I'm not exactly sure which one. I go in between both of them. I love this file because I can use it and I can sanitize it and disinfect it and sterilize it. It's great. So before I was using a lot of the peel and stick sort of nail files that were one use, which are good too, but they had their drawbacks. And so when I found these diamond files, I was completely sold, and they aren't going to wear out and I don't have to worry about replacing them. They're awesome. So I'm going to be filing her nails down so that they're all the same length. And she likes the in-between square and oval shape, which I call squoval. That's old school. I know that some people don't like the term squoval, but it kind of gives me an idea of what she wants. So she says squoval. We all are fine with it. And I do 1 or 2 swipes down the side wall to make sure that the nail is growing straight in the nail groove, and then file across and round out the corners. If you have any questions about what I'm doing or how I'm doing it, please put them into the comments section and I will be sure to answer you in the comments, but also you might be featured in another video so that I can address it in another video and have more people be able to understand my reasoning behind everything. So the one thing I've noticed by using these nail files is that if you put any kind of force into the nail, it takes off length lickety split. So I use as very little pressure against the nail as I can so I can ensure that I get the right nail length and also nail shape. So that's why you probably are like, wow, you're filing a lot. No, I'm not really. I'm barely touching the nail and making sure that it's the exact shape that my client wants. Once I'm done shaping the nail, I always come back with the ruby stone here. The ruby stone is a crystal file. It's a very, very fine grit file. And the reason I use it is because a regular emery board will tear up the layers of the nail on the end, leaving the nail feeling very rough and also susceptible to having water get in between the layers of the nail, which can cause splitting and peeling. So I always go back with the ruby stone to press together the layers of the nail so that they're very, very smooth on the end, and seal the end of the nail so that it is resistant against water getting in between the layers of the nail. If you have splitting or peeling as an issue with your nails, you need a ruby stone in your life. This is what you would use in order to smooth out any snags or rough edges, not to necessarily take down length, but to just smooth the edge and really make sure that the edge is sealed against the water getting in there. Now comes my favorite part of the manicure, which is the cuticle care. I use the tapered barrel diamond bit by Erica's ATA, and I use, I think, a fine or a medium coarse grit. The first thing I do is I go around the sides of the nail and around the cuticle, getting the rough hangnails, any of the skin that may be dried out and just feeling rough, especially if you have somebody who's a picker at their skin. This is a great tool to use in order to smooth out any of the stuff that they would want to pick or pull at, and get the initial bulk of the cuticle removed off the back of the nail plate. With this particular bit, you have to be very careful not to press the end of the bit down into the nail. You have to really focus on mainly hitting only the cuticle and only the skin. If you press down into the nail, then as a new nail grows in, you might see what we call a ring of fire, which is basically where you damage the nail where the skin is meeting the nail right here. And you press too hard into the nail and took off too many layers of the nail. So you get this divot that looks like this, like a horseshoe shape. It's a half moon shape that follows the cuticle edge as it grows in. And that's not attractive. Nobody wants that. It shows that you're not as careful as a nail technician. So it's very, very important that you use very gentle pressure and let the bit do the work, and not to press down into the nail. The other issue with giving rings of fire is that as the nail grows out, when the ring of fire gets to be at the end of the nail is actually exceptionally fragile, and it'll start to break and peel. So yeah, I learned that through experience, trying to, hone my skills. And I realized that, oh, my nails are getting weaker. No, it's just because I pressed too hard when I was using the e-file on myself, and that area doesn't have as many layers of the nail anymore because you press too hard into the nail. So be gentle. When in doubt, be gentle. I just want to take this moment to say that I didn't always use an e-file. I actually started using the e-file about 3 years ago. And I didn't realize how unrefined my manicures looked until I started using e-file. The amount of smoothness that you get the skin, the absolute perfection in the cuticles, you cannot get that without using the e-file. I don't care what scissors you use or nippers or pushers you use. It doesn't look as good. And so if you're hesitant against using the e-file, I would say just take that leap and just start small and learn to use it, because it really will up your game and change the outcome of your clients' manicures, and they will love you for it. So now I'm going to grab what is called the detail bit, another diamond bit that I use, and it's a lot skinnier. You can see it allows me to get into the crevices a little bit more and smooth out the sidewalls, where there might still be some little bits of hangnail left or something kind of hanging on. So I use this, the first bit I use in the forward direction, I go from right to left. And the second bit I use in the reverse direction, and I go from left to right. And that's just my own personal technique. You can do it whatever way feels comfortable for you, but I feel like this works best for me. Again, you have to be very careful with not pressing down into the nail and really focusing on just hitting the skin to make sure that you're removing the skin and not removing too many layers of nail. So once I'm done buffing, I take a moist towel and I just clean off the hand and the nails to get all of that dust and debris out from around her nail plate so that I can see if there's anything left I need to nip, and then start the hydration process before polishing. Now for hydration, I take a dollop of my Revive nail and cuticle salve and I apply it to all the fingertips, rubbing it into the nails and the skin surrounding them. This particular product I love because it has healing herbs infused into the oils. So if you have somebody who, say, picks at their cuticles, or there's snags that have been pulled away and there's bleeding, this particular product, because of the healing herbs, allows the skin to heal a lot faster and keeps everything nice and supple without feeling greasy. So my clients really love this product. And then I use my hand cream that I make as well. I have a really hard time finding products that live up to my standards. So I actually created a hand cream, not because of that, but because originally my daughter, who had a really bad eczema, nothing I was using was helping her skin calm down. So I just developed my own cream and I really loved it. And so now I use it in my studio. And my clients really love it. It's lightweight, but thick enough to feel very hydrating, but not greasy. I really feel like I made something really good. It's just a hard thing to keep up with because my life is hectic and I don't always have time to make bottles and bottles of lotion. But anyway, typically with an Express Manicure, I actually don't give any kind of massage. It's just more like a lotion application so that the skin is hydrated. But because I love this client and she had a little bit extra time, I gave her a little bit of extra love on her hands. So now we're going to prep the nails for polish. Because there's lots of oil on her nails, now I have to clean off the oils, and I just use alcohol and a lint-free wipe to make sure that the nail is totally clean and bare. Because if you have any oils on the nail, the polish is not going to stick. So you've got to be really good about getting all the oils off the nail. And all my clients have fell in love with Dazzle Dry, which is totally understandable. So we do actually 2 coats of Dazzle Dry base coat. If you didn't know, you're supposed to use 2 coats of the base coat before applying the color. For the fingers, I follow that recipe. But for the toes, I just use 1 coat of base coat because I find that it doesn't need that extra adherence for the toes. But the fingers, you're using your hands a lot more than you're using your toes. And so you need to follow the prescription that they lay out for you, which is 2 coats of base coat, 2 coats of polish, and 1 coat of top coat. So this client chose the color Casablanca, which is this beautiful island turquoise color. I love this color. It's super summery, and we are all in the place right now where we just want it to be warm. So kind of, trying to manifest that a little bit with the color that we choose. I just want to apologize for the blurriness. I wanted to get a little bit closer in so you could see the actual polishing a little bit better, but it looks like my camera just didn't have the right setting. So sorry about that. Hopefully it's not too distracting. So once I get all the polish on, I take my little corrector pen and I go through each of the fingers and make sure that there's no remnants of polish left on the skin because we want to look perfect when we leave the studio. Well, I hope you all enjoyed my very first attempt at filming my manicures. Obviously, I have a little bit of growing to do in this respect, trying to get closer, clearer video, but hope you enjoyed it anyway. And I will see you next time when I go back and do a pedi. There's a good one coming up. So if you haven't done it already, don't forget to subscribe and click that bell for notifications so you know exactly when I post my next video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon.